Hi there, and welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Rosa Coelho, health coach, trainer, and teacher. I'm also founder of the Simply Strong programs and community. Here, we cut through the noise to simplify health, personal growth, and lifestyle, helping you to thrive with ease, confidence, and vitality. Listen in because you never know when you may hear something that changes everything. Hello, beautiful friend. Happy 2026. It feels so great to be back to routine. I hope you had a lovely holiday season. Sadly, for me, the end of the year was not the best one. I lost my auntie who I grew up with, and that was incredibly heartbreaking. The one thing I would say was lovely that I spent a lot of time with my cousins and with family and just being together to celebrate the incredible person she was. In fact, we found something so special. Well, my cousins found it in her home. She had saved a magazine that I wrote in when I was in London. Oh gosh, that magazine, I think it was from 2011 or something like that. It was from years ago, and it just warmed my heart to think, wow, she kept it all these years. Even I don't have a copy of it. So they gifted it to me, and I'll forever hold on to that, not because it's the magazine I wrote into, but just as a memory of, we have these people in our lives that are so special and that are so proud of us. And it's amazing how they, quietly hold us in their thoughts and always want what's best for us. And that was my auntie. She was an incredible lady. Okay, so what topic are we starting off with this year? Oh gosh. Okay, I did think of a couple of different things, and I do want to share the habits that I am taking into 2026 that are going to make a massive difference. But I thought, you know what? I want to go a little bit even more niche than that. I want to share with you the one thing that made the biggest, and I mean the absolute game changer, biggest impact to my health in terms of the way I looked, in terms of results, in terms of everything. And I thought, you know what? I can't be the only one that was struggling with this. So I'm going to share it with you. And it blew my mind. Okay, so here's the thing I'm going to share with you. It's how to stop doom scrolling when you are going to bed. And so I don't mean late night doom scrolling. I don't mean daytime doom scrolling. We're being really specific. I mean, you're in bed, you need to go to sleep, and you're like, oh, just a few minutes on my phone just to unwind. And then you're scrolling a lot later than you think. And I used to do that. And then I'd wake up in the middle of the night, I'd pass out, fall asleep, wake up to videos, the same video going on and off. And it was just crazy. But I could not break this habit. And, or I'd break it for a week, and then I would go back to it. I would slip into it, and I finally cracked it. So I don't do it at all, and I can't even fathom doing it. And here's why. I'm not going to go into the science of how it disrupts our hormones, how we can't get that deep sleep, or how bad it is for our brain health, because those things are all true, and we don't actually need science to tell us that. We know that. But here's why I wanted to crack it, because I was feeling like absolute garbage. And I think there's no other word to describe that. The next day I would feel garbage. My memory would be off, and I'd be like, oh, my memory, haha, perimenopause, hormones. No, it's not. I last year I was really about radical honesty, and I continue to be about that, but sometimes it takes us time to finally get there and to catch up to it. And it wasn't perimenopause. Yes, of course, perimenopause and hormones can have impact on our memory at times, but this was down to my sleep, 100%. I was also really puffy, and I could see it in my face the next day, no matter what I did. And I would just look tired all day, and my body would just look a little more inflamed. And so I was like, I have got to get a handle on this, because I don't want to, in 5 years' time, be like, oh my gosh, I'm having some major brain health issues because I couldn't get control of this, and then there's no going back. And that's the reality of it. These things that we do every day, these little habits that we find hard to break, over time make a huge difference. And I know that. And so I had to get a grasp of it. So these are the 3 things that I did that made all the difference. The third one in particular, so stick with me because that third one really is what was the difference from the other times that I tried to make this change long term. So the first thing I did was, of course, take the phone out of my room. But I have an elderly mom, and so I don't want my phone off at night. I need to be able to reach it if she's calling for me. And so I put the phone in my ensuite. So it's in my bathroom, and if I need to hear it, I can hear it. The nice thing is I don't get alerts or messages or anything in the middle of the night or even phone calls. Ever since I've done this, I don't ever remember being interrupted by any messages. So if you do get messages because of international friendships or anything like that, then you'll have to turn off notifications. But for me, it hasn't been an issue. So I don't hear that phone at all. And I just rest a little more comfortably knowing that if she's calling, that I will hear it. So that was number one. Number two, this is a big one, is a hard rule around my phone does not touch my bed or my nightstand ever. Like not even in the day. Even if I'm cleaning up in my room and I'm tempted to just like have a little seat, have a little break and do some scrolling on my phone. Nope, it does not happen on the bed because at some point there has to be a disassociation between those two things. The bed is for sleep and the phone is for work and communicating and entertainment and all the things, but they do not go together. And so that's a hard, fast rule. And I have lived by that to the point where sometimes I might be scrolling. Like at the beginning, I gave myself a lot of like leniency because I thought, okay, the goal is to not be doom scrolling when I'm in bed. So if I'm doom scrolling and I'm up a little bit later, but I allowed myself to do that at the beginning, but it didn't come to my bed. And so now once you get one habit and you do a really good job of that, then you start to like want to do better in other areas. So now I'm like, oh, now I like getting off my phone even before I go to bed. So it will spill over. But initially the first point and the first habit I wanted was that one, the not scrolling when I'm sleeping. So that was the second thing, was that hard rule of no touching the bed. The third one. Now, this is the one that made the biggest difference, and I was blown away by it. I don't know how it came into my brain to do it, but it did. I actually started using an old phone as an alarm clock. Here is why. I have tried time and time again to have an old school alarm clock. I have one on my opposite nightstand to where the one that's further away from the side that I sleep on. I've tried. It has never worked for me. I would still get up and go get my phone eventually. So I found what happened with this old phone is I took off all the apps and all the things to it, and it's just for the alarm clock. And those first few nights, I would reach over in the middle of the night for my phone. And then I would realize it was a phone, and my nervous system would calm and I would sleep. And that was mind-blowing to me. One, it made me realize how addicted I was, how I just would reach for it, which was crazy that I just did that without, it was just like this automatic thing. But the second I touched it and realized it was a phone, I chilled out. And I can't explain the science behind that or whatever it is, but it worked. And so now I use that old school phone for the alarm, and I don't reach for it anymore, which is amazing, but I've just kept it the same because it's easy. And yeah, what an absolute game changer. So if you haven't tried that, try that and let me know. Message me and let me know if this works for you. So if you're someone who's like, okay, now you've got that, you're not doom scrolling, but you're still not sleeping great and you'd like to have some really good habits around sleep, here's a few things that have really worked for me and that do make a difference. I've listened to all like the sleep experts and all the things because honestly, when you get a good night's sleep, it is just mind-blowing how much different you even look physically. It's crazy. So number one is definitely having a routine where you go to sleep relatively around the same time every night. When you go to sleep is more important than when you wake up. You want to allow enough time to get the amount of sleep that's good for you. For me, I need to be between 7 and 8 hours to feel really rested. So I know that if I'm going to be up at 6:30, by 9:30 to 10 o'clock, I'm asleep, and it doesn't take me long to fall asleep. So the same time every night makes a difference. The other thing is especially like I'll still have once in a while a night where I'm not sleeping great. And that could be anything. It could be like spiking cortisol because maybe my meals were off a little bit during the day. It could just be hormonal because of perimenopause. It could be a number of things. So it doesn't happen often, but when it does, I now have a stack of books next to my bed. And so I will reach for books and I will read a little bit, and that will make me go to sleep no problem right away. So I wouldn't say right away, but it just doesn't take me as long. If I went back to scrolling, oh my goodness, no, that would not work. But having books there that I'm interested in has made a difference. And I basically get through a page or so and then I'm sleeping. The third thing, which was something I've resisted for a really long time, and I can't tell you why, but a couple of friends were having this little competition with each other. And I was like, oh my gosh, why have I been resistant to this? And it was around sleep. And what they do is they always share what their sleep score was based on their Apple Watch. And I thought, my gosh, I have an Apple Watch. I don't really like the idea of wearing wearables or even the feeling of having something on my wrist when I go to sleep. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this and see what happens. Whoa, game changer. I was blown away. I love it when people teach me new things. And again, it's not that didn't know that that was an option. It's just, I feel like I track so many things in my life that I didn't think to track my sleep. And yet the things I track my life have all improved the quality of my life. And so I am a tracker. I really think through structure comes freedom. Through tracking means you're not guessing. And sometimes we lie to ourselves, not on purpose lie to ourselves, but we think, oh, I got a good night's sleep. And then we check. And so there's been something so powerful about that. Like now I really aim to have like that excellent on it as opposed to the okay. And even when the watch tells me that I didn't sleep well, I then can match it to how I'm feeling the next day. And so that's been powerful to really aim to have good night's sleep and to have my watch tell me that. And so I don't know if I'll wear a wearable forever, but right now it's like anything you track until it just becomes a part of what you do. And it has been a game changer. So those three things, going to sleep on time, having books by my nightstand, and then tracking my sleep. Game changer. Look, if there's one thing you do for your health, please make it sleep. It is the most impactful thing that we could do for our health. When we sleep well, we communicate better. We're not as grumpy. Our hormones are more regulated. Our hunger hormones are more regulated. So we're not getting crazy cravings during the day. Our brain and our memory is so much better. Like everything improves with good quality sleep, muscle recovery, all the things. I can go on and on about it. And so I'm going to stop there. But I'm just saying, make 2026 the year of focusing on sleep. All right, my beautiful friend, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. If you are wondering when the next Simply Strong program is starting, it's right now. You can join anytime. Go to my Instagram or on to my website, rockofit.com, and you will see it there. Instagram's the easiest. You can go to the link in the bio and you will see the Simply Strong group. If you're like, this is the year that I want to stop with the quick fixes, I want to implement really good habits around strength training, around sleep, around hydration, around just doing those things consistently that work, and then get a weekly check-in with me through voice notes where it's personal and that you know you've got me on your side, then make it this year. The only caveat is that the program only starts on a Friday. You get given 3 days to prep, and then the program officially starts on a Monday. So if you pay for it on a Sunday or a Monday or a Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, you will start on that Friday. So that's the only thing. If you have any questions about that, reach out to me. Okay, have a beautiful 2026 and a great rest of your week. Thank you so much for listening in today. I know time is precious, and I'm grateful you shared yours with me. It would mean the world to me if you felt an impact, a moment of inspiration, or learned something new. If you would share it with those you care about and leave me a review on iTunes. I'd love to know what spoke to you or what you'd like to hear more of. Your sharing and leaving a review would help so much on this journey to making an impact on as many people as possible. It's worth it. I know from experience, there are moments when something we hear has the possibility of changing everything.